Hello, everybody. So I got DDoS attacked earlier, and that's why the Argente Garde stream got shut down. I was being DDoSed by a group of detractors. It wasn't that Rain knocked over my router. It wasn't that I don't know. I just was delusional and I didn't something or other. It got destroyed. It got knocked out because the people who hate me are conspiring to destroy me and everything that I've built. Because what I've built is the greatest channel on all of YouTube. I've built it. I am the YouTube Pope. Much as Nick Ricada is the normie Pope, was the law Pope. I am the YouTube Pope. So I just wanted to start addressing some of the things that are criticisms that people have had against me, and some of these things. So I've been accused of running a human trafficking ring that is taking people from Taiwan and bringing them here to Canada, and then selling them to Chinese investors as a way of them imposing their dominance over the rebel province. Now, this is not true, and I'm not going to talk about the case here. But the reality of the case is that the reality of the case is that the women come from Thailand. So it's slander, it's stuff like that, and that just to start off with is what I want to start off with. Just addressing this whole thing is that is where they're from. As far as the drug smuggling goes, I don't read the Emu Ranch. I don't read it, but I was looking at the thread, my thread, and I was looking at page 457, the fifth post, and it said that I was smuggling heroin. That's not true. I was smuggling cocaine. And this is just the way what you have to deal with when you're dealing with the Emu Ranch. They just make stuff up, and it's bad, and it's Janny Juice's fault. It's Janny Juice. But yeah, so it's some good bourbon. So we're gonna taste some. So yeah, I just also wanted to say that I don't care about the haters. Like, I think it's important for me to come here and say I don't care about them. People will send stuff to me and they'll say you suck. They'll say Argent more like Argent turd, and I'll just be like, look guys, I don't care about you. And I just want to say once again, I don't care about the haters. I don't care about the haters. I just don't. I don't care about them. So we have this ongoing legal case that people keep asking me about. And I'm not going to give any details about it, but the case has been filed at 500 Laurier Drive in Brandon, Manitoba, at the fifth courthouse, and the legal document number is 5031238, and all my personal information is there. But I'm not going to talk about it on here. I'm gonna tell you where to go to find it. But I'm not going to actually talk about it. Talk about it here. Now, the people who are involved in this are, we have Miss Teacup, like from Beauty and the Beast, and she came to my house and she's like, "Your cat is being exposed to heroin," and I'm just like, "You're a dumb bitch. She's being exposed to cocaine," and I just like, "You're worried about my cat? What about the women in my basement?" from Thailand. They're being exposed to it too. And then she was just like, "You have women in your basement?" I was just like, "Yeah, bitch. What do you think? I'm the king of fucking YouTube. Of course I have women in my basement. That's just kind of a given, isn't it?" So, what are we gonna talk about tonight? We got those dumb Canadians on Kino Casino, and I don't watch it, but they keep doing videos on me. They keep attacking me. They keep slandering me. What they do is they take clips, or not even clips. They take entire streams of me talking about stuff, and then they play them with no editing. And it's slander. It is a level of slander that I think kind of goes beyond normal slander, because some people would argue it's not even slander. They'd say, like, why are you putting out streams where you're acting like a retard and admitting to a whole bunch of crimes and saying stuff that can and will be put against you in the court of law? And the truth of the matter is, it's the issue isn't they are weaponizing my content against me. When I say that the judge in my case is an F slur, and that they deserve to be drawn and quartered and pulled through the streets naked like Cersei in Game of Thrones, when I say that, like, I can say that in like a public stream, but if somebody like sends that publicly available stream to somebody else, that is crossing a line that was never meant to be crossed, sending that stream over. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. So yeah, I got all these charges up against me, and they're talking about like my kids. And I got this one kid, and they're my favorite kid, and they were having trouble sleeping one night, so I just gave them a little bit of morphine. I was smuggling the heroin. I just gave them a little lick of it, and they went out like a light. And I was just trying to help the kid. I was trying to help them to get to sleep, because they had a big day in the morning. They were going to go to church, to the church that was run by that evil fucking pastor who baptized my kids. And I just so that happened, and then they passed out, and they slept the night, and someone was telling me, "Look, Argent, you can't be giving heroin to little kids. It's going to screw with them." And I'm just like, "Yeah, but the Constitution says I can." You ever read the Canadian Constitution? The Canadian Constitution says within it, you have a right to give drugs to children. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let these fucking pieces of shit, these haters, these detractors, these people who don't understand law the way that I do, the people who are not trained lawyers, they're not real lawyers, will try to tell you, no, the Canadian Constitution doesn't say that you have a right to give drugs to kids. Well, I listened to Robert Barnes. I listened to Nick Recchietta. And they told me that the Constitution says you have that ability. And then they'd be like, well, why would the Constitution apply to you? Because you're Canadian. But everywhere is Canada. Everywhere on God's green earth is actually Canada. No, I mean America. See, Justo is trying to poison my mind. There's a conspiracy here against me that is being brought by Justo, that is framing me for human trafficking from Taiwan when it's really from Thailand. So, yeah, these documents came out regarding the court case that include like a whole bunch of stuff that I did. Like I said, are the documents real? Yeah, they're real, but they've been altered they've been altered by the government. It says, Argent, you were smuggling 20 kilos of heroin. The reality is it was only 15 kilos of heroin. And this is what they do. They take good men like me, good boys who never did anything wrong, and they make us suffer. They make us suffer by falsely imprisoning us. It's like Donald Trump. I am a political prisoner. It's like Donald Trump. Maybe that's what Trump did. Maybe he was trying to just sell some heroin to some kids who wanted it. Maybe that was like his big crime. The Constitution says that. The Second Amendment says a well-regulated militia, that means you can have drugs. You could be high on meth while you're waving a loaded weapon around. That is actually what the Constitution says. I would know because I'm a lawyer. I watched Robert Barnes. Robert Barnes told me that's what it says. Robert Barnes is a great lawyer. He's a great lawman. He is, after all, the person who was the head lawyer for Alex Jones's case, and that went good. Alex Jones, big friend of the show. I met him at an anime convention once. We went to get sushi together. And while we were there, the sushi chef tried to attack him with the sushi knife. And Alex Jones went Super Saiyan and just strangled him. And then we ran away after we grabbed some of the more expensive sushi. So that's the Alex Jones story. And while we were at the sushi bar, he said, you know, the kids at Sandy Hook are crisis actors. And then there was a guy who was dressed up as a Fire Emblem character, as Dimitri from Fire Emblem, and we thought we could trust him with his Aryan powers, but it turned out to be a member of the tribe, and he overheard Alex Jones talking about Sandy Hook. And after he heard Alex Jones talk about Sandy Hook, that's when the lawsuit started. So that is my story with Alex Jones, because I know all these people. They are my friends, like Robert Barnes, Nick Recchietta, Darkside Phil. But I feel for Nick Recchietta. Like, he just wanted to relive his youth, his youth. He grew up in a wealthy family. He didn't get the experience of being white trash. And if you grow up in America and you don't have the experience of being white trash, then that is your constitutional right. To grow up in like a trailer park, like a shitty trailer park, to eat SpaghettiOs and Chef Boyardee and pork rinds all day, and then to get on welfare and spend your welfare check on guns and meth, and then that is your right. And Nick Recchietta, he decided, I'm going to be a man. I'm going to be the alpha. I'm going to be the law pope. And I'm just going to do mounds of fucking cocaine because I'm like Scarface. I'm like the Joker. So, like I said, you have these people who, in the case of Nick Recchietta, they watched his streams and then they posted unedited clips of it. They weaponized the content against him. He was an innocent man. He never did anything wrong. He was a good boy. And this is the way that they treat him. And it's disgusting, and it's got to stop. 1 second. Let me see. Let me know if my air... I'm going to see if I can turn my air conditioner down because it's hot. Okay, is that really loud in the background? I don't know. If that's super loud, then maybe I'll turn it off. But it's hot here. It's hot from all the cocaine that's being smoked. So, oops, that goes off of mine. So that's that. Gonna take another swig of this. And I think in like the case of Nick Recchietta, like I think he is the victim here. Because what happened is his 8-year-old daughter, she went to school, and all of these like evangelical Christians, they're like, here's some cocaine, give this to your father, plant it around the house, you're part of the deep state now. And she's like, yeah, I guess I am part of the deep state now. And she planted the drugs and planted the guns, and then she snuck cocaine pills into Nick Reccietta's nose medicine. She snuck it in. And that's what happened. And then she called the cops on him. It was a conspiracy of silence. Because silence is violence. Nick Rechietta is the white George Floyd. He's a man who the legal system has burned down. He's a man whose life has been ruined by systemic racism. That's the truth. That's the truth. So, what else could we talk about? Let's see. What are people saying in the chat? I don't know. People aren't giving me money in the chat, so I'm not gonna pay attention to them. I'm gonna need super chats if I'm gonna acknowledge your existence. So, like I said, the haters are just not something I spend a lot of time thinking about. Like, the haters, I spend approximately 20% of my day thinking about haters. And that's not a lot. That's like as much as some people spend eating. And yeah. If you can't give your a 9-year-old a Coke, this isn't even America. Yeah, it says that, like I said, in the Constitution, is the 24th Amendment, you can give your kids Coke. It was passed to end the war on drugs. It's covered under the amendment that ends prohibition. It ended prohibition of everything. Don't let the government tell you this is a illegal thing. Well, once again, also the Constitution applies to Canadians. Breaking character for 1 second. I'm not actually drunk. I'm just. But that is actually the argument that Robert Barnes made, is that it's not illegal to have loaded firearms while you're high out of your mind on drugs, and it's not illegal to be high out of your mind around kids and give them access to the illegal drugs because of the Second Amendment and the Fourth Amendment and the Eighth Amendment and the 10th Amendment and the Ninth Amendment. And the amendment to the amendment. Because that's the question. It's like, if a tree falls in the forest, no one hears it, doesn't make a sound. If one amendment revokes another amendment, then is it still an amendment? Or is it an amendum? Or an amendee? So that's something that needs to be, I think, looked at. It's kind of like what happened with Chef Red Pill. Chef Red Pill, he went to Ukraine, and his First Amendment rights were not respected in Ukraine, and it's a damn shame, because everywhere in the world is America. And if you can't go to like a foreign country and start talking shit and supporting the power that's invading them, then that's not the case. People have tried to say, like, you shouldn't get like drunk and take pills before you go on stream. It's maybe like a bad idea, but to me, I think it's a good idea, because I think it lets you be more honest with your audience. Honest and truthful, as Chris Chan would say. People might say, like, Argent, you have a pending legal case. Maybe you shouldn't get drunk and stoned out of your mind and go on stream and talk about how, like, the details of it, and say that the judge is an F-slur, and that the drugs were planted, and that it's wrong because the women were from Thailand and not Taiwan. And they might say, you know, a lot of that stuff is kind of incriminating. You probably just shouldn't, like, say that, but I think it's the smart thing to do, because I have to show the haters. I have to show the haters that I'm still the king of YouTube. Just a little social lubricant. It's just licking the give the bottle a little lick here. It's good. This bourbon costs like 200 shekels a bottle. 200 shekels a bottle for one of these things of bourbon. Bourbon's a big thing in Israel. That's where I fly to Israel with my YouTube money to get the bourbon there. But it's true. Now, what else are we going to talk about? Let's see here. Okay, maybe I'll swap over. So, I was reading a treatise the other day while polishing my sword, and it was on King Hammurabi of Egypt, and it talked about how he had invented the dodecahedron. And the dodecahedron was a device that allowed the manipulation of luck. It would cause bullets to curve around the person in question, like that power armor in the Fallout New Vegas mod submod. And that was pretty fascinating. And it reminded me of something I read in 19th century English American philosopher Rene Guénon about how that stuff goes. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, you guys aren't smart enough to understand this stuff, and that's why you come here to me, the YouTube Pope. All right, so I just want to address again. I get that there's now like an entire subforum about me on the Emu Ranch, and last time I counted, there was, I think, 40 or 50 threads, maybe about like 52, but I don't look at them. I don't sit there and I don't spend all day reading my Emu Ranch, seething, wondering where I went wrong in life, wondering if maybe the drug addiction was not a good idea. That was dark. Argent, how much of a super chat to take your cat to hedonism 2? How much blow have I given the cat? This is a good question. I took Rain to hedonism 3. Which, given the fact that she's spayed and can't really have sex with a male cat anymore, it was something. It was something. She was screaming, she was biting, but some of the dudes there were into that. Some of the dudes there were into getting bitten by a cat. And so I took her to hedonism too. I've given my cat 20 times the legal limit of cocaine. And because she's a cat, I honestly didn't notice, because she just spurgs out randomly as it was. Now, as for the women in the basement, the product of the trafficking, Not gonna lie, watching good stuff but Switch because you should get the live views. Oh, thank you. You should get the live views. This is the good stuff, though. This is how Nick Recchiata. This is how he deals with things. You know what? Let's watch this. Let's watch his Cope and Seethe stream. I think I've done enough of this. No, there's okay. So I'm just gonna. You know what? Let's just talk about this because why not? This. No, there's a threshold. Okay, so what it is there is a threshold. Cocaine builds up in your system over time. Specifically in your hair follicles. I'm just seeing if that someone's posted the Nick Recchiata insane cope stream that he did. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So Alyssa Clips covered this. So okay, so for those of you who aren't aware, and I should probably just do a dedicated video on this, but who gives a fuck? I'm the king of fucking YouTube. But so Nick Recchiata's daughter tested positive for 10 times the minimum limit. So I think the threshold, I don't know how it works, if it's like parts per million or whatever. We'll just say it's parts per million. So the minimum to get a positive identification for cocaine usage is 500 parts per million. And then she had, I think, 5,000 parts per million. So she was 10 times above what the detectable range is. So we're just gonna, you know what, I can always just clip this part of the show out and we can just watch this separately. So we're gonna watch the clips that inspired this bit of genius performance art for me, the master of YouTube. So we'll take a look at Alyssa Clips. And let's watch some Nick Recchiata. So this was a stream he did when he came back. To felt all of the haters. So let's take a look at this.
Very briefly, and then we'll I'm going to read the chats, and then it's up to the government to prove they're accurate. Why isn't
the sound working?
As for me, I have a lot to say.
What the fuck is
a
the
lot
sound?
To say about what is on documents that have been released. Paper copies of documents like released before they're available to the public.
Okay, there we go. No, that was Boomer Hours. Just my thing had come out. So let's take a look at Nick Recchiata's Cope stream.
I'm going to talk for a minute, very briefly, and then we'll I'm going to read the chats, and then we'll go. This is not going to be a long stream. It was going to be a much longer stream, but first, the release of information that's supposed to be protected at a very specific time, right after I announce the show and right before the show starts, is something that is concerning, and of course, I will have a lawyer looking into that right away.
Not him, though. Well, I even kind of got the cadence down properly. The cadence like this, where I just kind of can't think quickly.
I know people want to draw conclusions from whatever's going on. And look, there's no way around it. There's nothing to say other than people will get to draw their conclusions from what they read. I'm not here to fight you guys at all. I'm not here to fight your conclusions. I'm not here to fight or justify or prove anything. I don't need to do that for you. Believe it or not, a lot of really well-meaning friends want me to do that. And these people are lawyers, which is shocking. They want me, I'll say it this way. They say, Nick, you need to do X, Y, and Z because of your YouTube channel and your online image. And my response is, sir, madam, I don't know if you know this, but the lowest priority in my life right now is my public image for the purposes of YouTube and Rumble.
So why is he doing this then? Like, why is he doing this? I don't know.
So any of you who want me to come out here and like do some weird grandiose apology or prostrate myself in front of you, let me just help you with my public image right now. Fuck you. Right in your goddamn mouth. I'm not here to worry about what you think about me. And that should be obvious to damn near anybody. And if you think it's in my character to come out and grovel before you and say, oh,
I'm not mad, guys. I'm not mad. I'm not seething. I'm not coping. I'm not doing a stream where I'm yelling at all the people who have wronged me. Oh, boy.
oh, I'm so sorry I let you down. I didn't let you down. I didn't pick you up. I didn't make you, and I didn't make promises to you. So if you feel let down by me, let yourself down from the stool, Robin Williams. I'm not here for you. I'm not here to own your feelings, and I'm not here to apologize to your feelings and sensibilities either.
It seems like you want them to apologize to you. Like, what a bitch. Like, once again, why did he think this was a good idea? Like, maybe, hopefully my, like, bit of performance art makes a little bit more sense now, because it does actually kind of come across like this.
And if I did, you shouldn't respect me, because anybody who comes out like a little fucking bitch and says, I really am worried about my public image, not my family, not my liberty, not holding government accountable,
Not ethics in video game journalism.
none of that. But my public image, huh? My public image? Well, you're probably a fat Canadian. Or maybe a skinny Canadian who can't fly to the right city. Or maybe you're a doughy Minnesotan.
But he doesn't watch Kino Casino, guys. He doesn't watch the haters. He just happens to know exactly what they're covering about him. So I like everybody who's the 5 people who are watching this. Press 1 if you think that Nick cares what people think about him. Press 2 if you think Nick Rekieta doesn't care what people think about him.
I don't know who you are, but I'm not here to apologize to you or for anything. I am under the thumb of government at the moment, which means government gets to say whatever they want about me, and I don't get to respond.
Well, I mean, aren't you responding now? Like, isn't this whole thing like a big response? You know what? Honestly, a lot of the shit I said during that is so close to what he's saying. I mean, I exaggerated it a bit, but it honestly does sound like it.
That's a shit place to be. We've talked about it a lot on this show. What's funny is a lot of my colleagues have talked a lot about it too. But the moment it happens, they all tuck their nuts up into their own assholes and become the biggest pack of fucking gabbling women I've ever seen. Running around, ah, come out, apologize, bow down, bow, beg, tell everybody that you're sorry. For what? What am I sorry for? They don't know what I'm supposed to be sorry for. I don't know what I'm supposed to be sorry for.
Maybe like the fact that your kid I still think the kid like this once again, and it's just deliberate. Like, this dude obviously watches absolutely everything about him. The fact that he constantly sees about Kino Casino, I think, is a good example of this. But I don't know. Why would you do this? Why are you doing like a stream like this where you're just crying? Like, dude, just don't. Like, don't feed the trolls. Like, this dude is hysterical.
For What I know is the government has accused me of some criminal acts.
Yeah.
Those criminal acts have impacted me and my family. The accusation from government is not a conviction. It may convict you.
Okay, so you know what? If people want, I'll do like a more detailed video tomorrow on this. I just kind of felt like coming on and doing some fucking weird Friday night stream. But so what wound up happening is somebody leaked some reports of from the court. Now, I've heard different things about it, whether this was legal or not, whether these are real or not. It's some CPS thing. So Nick and Kayla got drug tests done. They have not allowed CPS to see the drug tests. Now, the CPS has been apparently trying to give the kids back to them. The kids are currently at a foster home, or maybe with the grandparents or something like that. But they can't get them back because they refuse to let CPS look at the drugs, so that the drug tests, so they don't want to get their kids back. Now, CPS tested the kids, and it turned out that one of the kids tested positive for cocaine usage. Now, the cocaine usage, so how cocaine works is it builds up in your hair. So if you're doing cocaine, then it'll gradually, as your hair grows, it'll build up in it over time. Now, obviously, your hair doesn't grow in one day. So looking at someone's hair is a reliable way of seeing whether or not there's long-term consumption. So they determined that his daughter, 9-year-old daughter, who was 8 years old when, I think she turned 9 on the day it was arrested. She had a cocaine rating of, I think, 5,000, which is 10 times what is needed to be considered. I think if you look at a chart, it's something like the amount of cocaine of a regular daily cocaine user, of a moderate cocaine user. And this is a child. This is an 8-year-old child. And she had all this cocaine. Now, there's speculation that he was giving her the cocaine as a form of ADHD medication. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if she just got into it. I don't know if just because there's fucking cocaine everywhere. It's weird that she would have it, that the rest didn't have it, didn't test positive. That actually worries me more than if they all just had a low dose for being exposed to it.
You in the eyes of people, and that's fine. If I'm convicted in your eyes, good. Go find someone else. You're now validated. I bid you adieu. I'm sorry I let you down by never promising anything and doing something that you didn't approve of, maybe. Except that thing that I'm supposed to have done still remains to be seen. But I will say this. I will be holding government to its full accountability to the extent of my rights. And anybody who thinks I shouldn't do that, okay. I don't know what law channels you're watching. Probably a cockeyed Koreans or something. Someone who doesn't understand the value of innocence until proven guilt. Someone who doesn't understand the value of constitutional rights. Or maybe people who just like to talk really big about not listening to government until the government comes.
Okay, but like honestly, guys, was my parody of this really that far off? It's like, my constitution, my government, there's a conspiracy. They found 20. So like that's the cope that the 26 grams of cocaine were planted there.
Knocking. Then suddenly they're fucking pussies. Running around in the truest definitions of a 90s idiot. Crying, prostrating themselves, begging for the leather to put their tongue on. Like it's a big chocolate starfish of their local police chief or whatever. Sorry. You will never, ever find that attitude from me or my channel. And you will never have me apologize to you for anything in my life other than being late to streams and being generally inept and retarded at running them.
So, the only thing I'm going to apologize for is being a grifter and producing shit content on an irregular basis. It's the only, like, he did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
I'll apologize for that, because I'm guilty of that.
Okay, so do you guys still think he's drunk and on drugs?
But anybody out there speculating right now about whether or not a government document is accurate, well, I'll let you determine if government is accurate or not. It's not up to me. It's up to the government to prove they're accurate. As for me, I have a lot to say.
So the document is real. So part of the thing that wound up happening, you know what, I'll do a more full stream on this tomorrow. But like, so part of the thing that wound up happening is Noel locked the thread. Josh locked the thread on Kiwi Farms because when this document came out, no one was really sure if it was real or if it was fake or whatever. So after he locked the thread, Nick Recchietta texted Josh and thanked him for locking the thread. Thanked him for locking the thread because basically he confirmed that the document was real. He claims that the document gives fake information, which was kind of what I was making fun of during the thing. But no, he confirms this really just says that the information on it is wrong. And I mean, like, did he have to confirm it? Like, did he have to come out and open his big mouth and say that the document was real? I don't know.
A lot to say about what is on documents that have been released. Paper copies of documents released before they're available to the public. That's a little strange. Case files that are protected being accessed by members of the public. That's a little strange. The timing of certain drops coming out. That's a little strange. The thinness of a search warrant's probable cause statement. Very strange. But it's not for me to fight these things on YouTube. And anybody who suggests that I should, or that I have some duty to explain to you my legal strategy, my legal avenues for doing this, or that anything I say or don't say is somehow either an admission or an omission of some duty I owe to the general public. Anyone who's saying that, anyone who is saying that is a lying grifter in the truest, not funny sense of the word.
But I mean, isn't that what this entire stream, like, once again, I honestly, the more rewatching this, my comedy bit, I think, was actually pretty close. Like, why is he doing this? Why is he ranting about it? He's talking about the case. He's saying, like, he's shitting on people. I don't know.
And I have zero respect for anyone like that, especially if they call themselves a lawyer. Anyone who calls themselves a lawyer and immediately demands me to run out and bend over before government not only shouldn't be a lawyer, they shouldn't be an American, and they shouldn't be a lot of other things. Because last I checked, we don't do that round here.
Not give kids drugs? So what the people said, okay, so what is the stuff that he's claiming the detractors said to him? What apparently the detractors said to him was, look, Nick, you should check yourself into rehab. You should not go online. You shouldn't get into fights with people. If you have to stream, don't talk about your case, and just shut the fuck up. Like, stop doing shit like this, because all kinds of stuff from this could be used in your court case. They said you should go to rehab. They thought the best thing that he could have done is shut up, appear contrite, try to pass it off as a one-time thing, and try to get a really good plea deal that let him keep his kids. And that was the advice that he's saying that like the detractors gave him.
I've long talked about the transparency of courts and what they're for. It's amazingly ironic to me that people hear me talk about that. They'll agree with me. The transparency of courts was always to hold government accountable, by the way, not your fellow man. It was always to hold government accountable. It was because prior to the United States, the legal system was that of the King of England. And he had the Star Chamber. He was the court. He was the enforcement arm of law.
I am the Senate.
Judgment arm of law. And those courts were held in private. People's charges were private. The details about them were private. The public wasn't allowed to analyze them. I've talked about how, even though it can be embarrassing, our country was founded on the principle of distrust of its authority, distrust of its government, a healthy, necessary evil of putting a few people in charge of many, but holding them accountable and adhering to freedom. And the amount of fucking pussies out there now who consistently lose that principle and say, no, actually, government must be correct at all times.
It's like, once again, because, like, okay, so I get that so he is claiming here that we should just disbelieve everything that the government said. Not just that, everything that the people at his church said. The live streams he did where he was fucked out of his mind. The personal details he's put out there willingly. We're just not supposed to believe any of that is his cope. I think, though, the real cope here is that because I'm an American and because of the Constitution, I can give my kids drugs. Like, is that not what the heart of this is? Is that even unfair, really, for me to say? That that's ultimately what this entire rant is about? That I can give my kids drugs, I can do whatever the fuck I want because I'm an American.
Baffles me. Baffles me more when they work with the government.
Like, is he actually retarded, or is this just, like, him acting in bad faith, or him just being, like, facetious? Does he not get that people aren't shilling for the government? They don't like the fact that his kids got fucking exposed to cocaine
in the system and still think that way. I will not.
So it's like Nick's contention that no one who commits a crime is actually guilty.
I never will. You'll never get that from me on this channel. I will not be coming out here crying to you about something that didn't ever involve anyone here.
Not saying it didn't happen, it just didn't involve. Well, then why are you doing this? Like, you are involving people.
You watch this show because for some reason it entertains you. I often fucking wonder what it is.
Well, that's good, Nick. It's just shit on your audience.
Because I couldn't watch my show. I would find it terrible. And maybe you do, and maybe that's what you like. That's cool. Maybe you find it wildly enjoyable. That's great. I'm glad. I come out here to entertain you. Now, this stream is not about entertainment, although many of you will probably be entertained by it, and that's good. This stream is one of the few real serious streams that I have to do.
But I feel like if he decides to fight this, and this goes to trial, and the jury gets convinced that this shit happened, and they show the jury and the judge this, like, they're going to want to throw the book at him, right? Like, if I was on a jury, I'd want to give this dude the harshest sentence, because he's completely like, I've done nothing wrong, I've done everything correct.
Because I will be back full-time streaming. And this was going to be the announcement for that. A little bit of recognition of the differences in the studio that I have. Well, not difference. It's the same studio.
Brucey Kibbutz, but but like Nick's children didn't go to a public school. They were homeschooled by his church. Had a the children at his church were homeschooled by a series of different parents who taught different subjects. So they did not go to a public school.
Studio, but different decorations and arrangements of things, and there's still some stuff to be done on it. We were going to talk about my biggest current concern, which is I got more fan mail, but tonight's no longer appropriate for that. Yes, that's right. In the midst of all of this, I got an ethics complaint for swearing too fucking much. Which puts me at, I think, 57. I think.
The Seethe.
I lost count.
Why would you say that? Like, why would you give people idea? Like, and go, yeah, well, people file ethics complaints against me. Like, what?
It was going to be a more entertainment-focused show. I know people are going to have commentary. They're going to have questions. They're going to have demands about my situation. And I'll just have to say, all the things I'm going to say impactful to my case will be said through counsel, in court.
I know, but you're saying it now.
You've watched this channel long enough, you should understand that. And if that's not acceptable to you, too fucking bad. There's no other way for me to do it. Right?
I'm gonna ask a question. Like, okay, so I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a man of the law. I just feel like if a prosecutor was gonna play this for a jury or in front of a judge, then that might not help him in a plea deal.
Right now, I am charged with a serious felony. Many of you have heard that sentence. Possibility is 25 years. It's a very unlikely outcome for someone like me, but it is a possibility, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. That's not something to be taken lightly. It's not something to be laughed at. People come out and they say, Nick hasn't taken accountability for his act.
No, but Nick, your entire career is laughing at people online. Your entire career is like mudraking and shitting on people and covering their trials and humiliating them. Like, this is why DSP took such a massive dub on you. Because you made fun of him.
Actions, and I'm like, the government hasn't proven my actions. So how can I take accountability for that which hasn't been shown? What I do know is this.
Well, it's not even so much you need to take accountability. That's up to you and your lawyer. Maybe you just don't do streams like this. Like, that's some idea.
I have counsel in this case. People thought I would represent myself because I guess they're retarded. I have counsel in this case. He seems like a good dude, a competent dude, and we will be going through this and doing what needs to be done. I see a lot of speculation on the internet, and I can see basically all of it has many of the major details wrong. And that's fine. Most of the details aren't for anybody.
What?
And that covers a whole lot more than the criminal case, just my life. My life story is becoming marvelously interesting, even though it's painful and really fucking annoying a lot of the time. The government will be dealt with as...
Okay, so I think Nick has admitted in the past he reads his Kiwi Farm thread every day. Like, does this man seem like the kind of person who doesn't care what people are saying about him? Does he seem like the kind of guy who doesn't care that people are shitting on him? I don't know.
As I guess time permits, allows, I'm not even sure how to say it. As the time becomes appropriate, government will be dealt with in course. His charges will be dealt with in course. I know what many of you are saying about these types of charges and the allegations against me, and you know what? Say what you will. Watch. You get to watch it live. You get to see what it does with me, to me. You get to see the outcome as it happens. It's pretty fucking rare. Should be a good show for you guys. For me, it'll be one of the most stressful and horrifying times of my entire life.
Yeah, but dude, you did this. You did this to Amber Heard, the Johnny Depp trial. You've covered all kinds of trials in the past and shit on people for the same thing. Like,
As I've always said, being under indictment by the government is one of the worst positions people can be in. But I'll deal with it. Because unlike groveling, sniveling commentators online who've never had to deal with any actual adversity in their lives.
okay, what adversity has Nick ever? What adversity has he ever? He's a trust fund baby, like. No, like guys, it's crazier than that. What's funny is that the police chief or the police captain who's assigned to this case is Jim Felt. I think his name is literally Jim Felt. So I hope when they haul this asshole off the jail, Jim Felt just says, "You've been felted."
That's what you do. That's not what a man does. That's not what a woman does. It's not about masculinity or femininity or anything. That's about what people have to do. There are times in your life where you are faced with something that you never could have imagined, that you never could predict, that you will not be prepared for. And again, I feel like a broken ass record because I've said all of this in the context of other people. When you are under the thumb of government.
I love how DSP's reaction to the Dear John video was him just going, "Why are you talking to somebody on Kiwi Farms?"
You are not prepared for it. No matter what you think you are not prepared for it. They will go after you in ways that you do not expect. They will come at you with information and you won't know if it's true. And you won't be able to adequately challenge it.
We don't know if it's true if he had the drugs, guys. We don't know. Like, there's no way to know if the drugs are real or not.
Right away. There's a process. And that process in and of itself is designed to grind you into dirt. It's designed to make you capitulate to government. Because they'll say, we have this and this and this. And you'll say, fuck you.
If the Baldo don't fit, you must acquit.
Show me.
Well, dude, they are showing you. They have the fucking drug. Like, okay. So, the U.S. legal system is fucked. I think we can all agree about that. Regardless of what you think about Donald Trump, like, no one can even. Okay, can anybody? Let's just take a poll. Can anyone in this chat name the crime that Donald Trump was convicted on? Let's just ask. What was the 32 felonies he was convicted on? I'd be maybe like you have heard me talk about it in the past, so you know what it is. I would imagine less than 1% of Americans could even explain what the fuck it was. The American legal system is shit. Like, I think we all get that. But this, like, this isn't hate speech. This isn't like, oh, you said a mean word online. This isn't, oh, you just owned a gun. Dude, this is, you were high out of your mind in front of your kids and you were exposing them to fucking drugs. Like, it's not like whatever Trump was convicted on.
And when you do,
once again, Trump must be the cleanest real estate developer in the history of New York. Really? That there was nothing, like, he was a real estate guy in New York for decades, and the best they could come up with was that?
Take a moment. When you do take a moment, and you work with government, and you can find this in the recently...
No, that's not what Trump was sued for in New York.
leaked documents. And you cooperate by, say, asking them to come into your home. They will lie under oath to the judge. That's right, Alicia Sweep. They will lie under oath to the judge They will fabricate a situation that did not occur. They will lie about your willingness to cooperate. They will lie about things that you said. They will generate statements said by other people out of nothing because I was there and that wasn't said.
Yeah, so it was falsifying business records. So they had to like invent something. Like it was like 42 accounts of, and if you look at it, it was literally just like a payment on a monthly basis. It is fucking retarded. But let's just listen to it. Does this okay? So I just want people in the chat to just think about this for a second. Is this him talking about the case? Is this him saying legally actionable things that could come back to bite him in the ass later? Is this him actually being libelous? Let's just list this again.
That you never could predict, that you will not be prepared for. And again, I feel like a broken ass record because I've said all of this in the context of other people. When you are under the thumb of government, you are not prepared for it. No matter what you think you are not prepared for it. They will go after you in ways that you do not expect. They will come at you with information and you won't know if it's true. And you won't be able to adequately challenge it right away. There's a process. And that process in and of itself is designed to grind you into dirt. It's designed to make you capitulate to government. Because they'll say, we have this and this and this. And you'll say, fuck you, show me. And when you do, take a moment. When you do take a moment and you work with government, and you can find this in the recently leaked documents.
Well, once again, he's confirming the documents are real. Like, all he had to... he shouldn't even address this and just said, like, look, I can't comment on any documents that may or may not be real in an ongoing investigation.
And you cooperate by, say, asking them to come into your home. They will lie under oath to the judge. That's right, Alicia Sweep. They will lie under oath to the judge. They will fabricate a situation that did not occur. They will lie about your willingness to cooperate. They will lie about things that you said. They will generate statements said by other people out of nothing because I was there and that wasn't said.
The other stuff was said, that wasn't said.
They will violate the rules of evidence. They will violate the rules of civil procedure.
Like, should he really be saying that, like, by name, saying that this person lied in front of a judge under oath? Like, isn't that libel? Alicia Sweep is the person from CPS who did the drug test. Who did the drug test. And who is the one who wrote this order. Also talking about how Nick refused to turn stuff over. It's basically she's a CPS worker, so Nick has decided it's a good idea to say that she lied under oath to the judge. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. Okay, let me ask a question. What does he gain by saying this? What benefit is there to him saying this?
They will violate the rules of juvenile procedure. And disinterested judges and very fucking terrible attorneys will let it all go. Because everyone grovels at the feet of government. But I don't. If you're ever in a situation like mine, and I pray that you're not, Do not allow anyone to convince you that you should grovel before government or just accept an outcome. Don't do it.
I mean, once again, most of his friends just told him to shut the fuck up.
Government system.
Is shutting up before a court case, like, is that groveling before government?
Of punishment is designed to fuck you. And it does it mercilessly, relentlessly, unapologetically, and it doesn't even call you good girl and spit in your mouth. It just does it. And when you're tired and bleeding on the bed, it does it again and again and again. You can't roll over until you're sore enough. And that's what they want you to do, is roll over. Don't. Fight for your rights. You have them.
The party.
They exist for a reason, including your right to free speech.
You better call Nick Rekieta.
And I will sit here and I will fight for every one of those commentators' rights to be a giant coward in the face of someone else's plight. And it's amazing to watch these people that I thought were courageous quiver in fear, performatively, just to beg you for one more $20 donation, please. It's embarrassing.
Once again, a lot of the people just told him to shut up and not talk about it. Apparently, though, that makes them detractors.
With that, as stated, I will not be talking about my case.
Dude, you just talked about it for 20 minutes.
I will be resuming content focused on the same things we always focus on. That content will be absent any alcohol or anything else. That content will be jovial and lighthearted most of the time, except maybe if I'm in a bad mood. Because guess what, guys? You've always gotten me, not a performative thing, not some mask, not some persona. You get me wherever I am. And sometimes, I know over the past couple of years, you've gotten a dark version. You've gotten me on a really shitty
Dark Nick. Dark Nick, it's like Dark Brit.
day. But hey, everybody has some shitty days. You've got me on some really fucking good ones, too. Hope to have many more of those with you. Again, what's so shocking to me are all the lawyers who suddenly forgot that you can't talk about a fucking criminal case. They'll tell you, they'll say it. They'll say it on Twitter and stuff. They'll be like, oh, Nick shouldn't be talking. When I tell a joke, about cops talking about my house, like, and label this clearly a joke. They're like, oh my God, Nick shouldn't say that. Ugh. And then they'll come out and they'll be like, Nick needs to apologize for everything he's accused of. And I'm like, accused of is the word here. Accused of. Let's let the government fucking prove anything first.
Once again, notice that he never says he didn't do any of it. He didn't say he's innocent. He said they have to prove it, which is not a good way to go.
Let's let them prove anything. Because they haven't even had an opportunity to do so. That's the best part. One day, though, I get to tell you about all of this. But right now, we have Constitution to worry about. My personal liberty is what I'm concerned with.
He's going to save the Constitution, guys. Nick Rekieta is fighting for your right to
party. The welfare and well-being of my family, despite the little memes about it, has always been and will always be my top priority. Anyone suggesting otherwise? Well, I don't want to violate YouTube's rules about encouraging self-harm.
Well, I mean, he's clearly not mad.
So won't comment further on what you should do. There are 6 people in this world that have consistently mattered to me more than my own safety or anything else. And that's my wife and my children. There's a short list of people who sit just below them, and then there's every other concern on the planet. But anyone suggesting otherwise, come talk to me about it. Not at my house, though, because if you come to my house, I'll treat you like a stalker.
Well, I mean, they took your guns away. So I don't know what you're gonna do. Like, dude, why are you telling people to come to your house? Like, that's never a good idea.
And I am dead fucking serious about that.
They're gonna threaten some violence. That's gonna make you look good in court.
Here we go.
Okay, so let's watch some other. Let's watch some more of these.
McNasty says, want to ask you, Nick, about this current thing where a lot of old heads are getting bashed for a misstep. Not just you, but Masterson, Medicare, etc. Is this just a cycle of the internet to jump on the fallen of some other BS? It's just the nature of the business. You talk about people, you're going to get talked about. You're going to make somebody mad, and then they're going to do something to you. Like, sometimes things happen, and people get a wrong idea in their heads, and they feel justified in trying to cause you and the people that you love serious amounts of pain. That's not most people on the internet. Most people on the internet just laugh at the ongoing dumpster fire that is all over and circling around them. But there are some sad, pathetic people who can't realize their own inadequacy. And when that inadequacy manifests and their life suffers consequences because their inability to be introspective, their unwillingness to self-examine or accept criticism or even self-critique, they rewrite their own history. They make up stories. They come up with a timeline and a set of facts that doesn't exist to justify their own failures. No matter how many times those failures were pointed out to them in friendly ways, they just can't do it. Someone else did it to them, because it certainly couldn't.
Like the government. Wow, this is the irony. I'm getting irony poison from that.
Ugly Dan says, can you say yayo? I've been a fan since like 2021. Get it together, Nick. My karma went to shit on Reddit defending you. Let me address this real quick. This is actually really fucking important. Some people have said to me like, hey, it's hard to defend you or this and this. Defending you. Stop. I never asked anybody to defend me.
Oh, come yeah, you are.
Ever. This goes all the way back to the Vic days when people are like, Nick, I defended you online, and then people started coming after me. I'm like, please don't. Please don't. You guys have read the allegations against me, I assume. You don't need to defend me. Those allegations exist from the government. They've been made. People are not going to accept your defense of me, and they don't have to. Please don't defend me. Do you even see me defending myself?
Yeah, you did this fucking unhinged stream.
No, I'm defending myself in court. Because again, the shocking number of people asking me to come online and defend my public image must have missed the fucking bus. And it must be a short one, I guess, because you should know that my public image is just who I am. And you should know that there's no fucking way on earth I'm going to capitulate to a government accusation. The government has a burden. They have to meet it. Until they meet it, fuck it. Meet your burden. Then we'll talk. If they do, then we'll deal with that. But right now, they haven't even had to try. So until that's done, I'm not going to sit here and capitulate to anything. But the converse is, that means I don't get to defend myself. Okay. You shouldn't either. Don't put yourself out there on my behalf. I've never asked anybody to do that. I wouldn't ask you to do that.
I don't know. You were pretty mad that your lawyer buddies weren't sweeping for you.
So, I know your karma score on Reddit isn't important. Well, maybe it is really important. But seriously, when you get involved with some of this stuff, with some of the people who are out there, especially some of the people who are out there commenting about me, you open yourself up to personal inspection, ridicule, and possibly more. Don't do that. It's not your cross to bear. I don't want your help defending me in that way at all. If there's something that I need help with, it'll be something that I'm looking for to be given to my lawyer to use in court. And I would ask that very specifically. I'm not asking for anything like that right now. Because right now, it's all on government to prove anything. Right now, I stand accused. Until a different outcome occurs, I do not stand convicted. And I hope to never stand convicted of anything. Well, except for maybe a few thousand speeding tickets. Raggedy Ann says, how'd you like those text-to-speech hard R's at the hearing? I told the guy when I sat down and I saw like 9 pages of visitors in the Zoom thing, I was like, you guys normally get like a lot of visitors? He's like, well, some days we do. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Buddy, you're about to have a whole lot more than normal. I didn't know at that time anything like about the news of the arrest or whatever.
The government found 26 grams of cocaine, I think in 14 ketamine tablets or something like that.
For coming out. So I didn't know any of that. And so when I saw those, and you hear the judge, he's like, can you stop the binging? Because it was so fucking far behind from people joining the Zoom call. Boom, 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 boom. It was just a backlog of that chime. And he's like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, I guess. And they're like, I'm like, is this normal? The guy's like, I don't know. I'm like, this isn't normal, homie. Like, this is not. Jesus, you guys don't even know. You don't even know. You know who I am. You know who I am. You know my name. Jeff Karcher says, Nick, did you have to marry a big black guy for protection in jail? Was it just for fun? No, it was just for fun. I was alone in my jail cell. I have narcolepsy, so it was really easy. I just went to sleep. Pretty much for an entire day. I don't have any good stories. I kept waking up to cold food being exchanged. Netcat Media says, you obviously hate legal mindset. Hate's a strong word that I don't reserve for very many people. I don't hate legal mindset. Not at all. Do I take issue with some of the things that he has said? Yes, absolutely. And I think there is some different ways he could have gone about stuff, but that's okay. I don't have like a list of things that people need to do. Ladybug Lisa says, my wish for you is that you'll realize some of those you might be mad at now actually do care about.
I think some of the people who, I think one of the people who turned him in was actually his sister-in-law.
Care about you. Oh, yeah. You're probably mistaken about who I'm mad at. But what I know that no one ever will realize is that many people who profess to be, to care about you, they're like, I just can't, like, they don't. And it's a nasty part of...
How could this happen to me? I've made my mistakes, got nowhere to run.
business in media is that it benefits people to both care and not care at various times. But I'm not policing that. I don't care about that aspect of it.
Yeah, they took his kids. They're in foster care at the moment. The leaked document says he can't get them back because he wouldn't let CPS see the results of his drug test or inspect the house.
I find it funny and interesting.
I think CPS said we need to inspect the house to make sure the drugs are gone, and we need to see the results of the drug test, and he refused to let them see it.
Especially when it's obvious. But, you know, people are going to do what they do. And what you typically find with me is until someone openly does something that I find rather untoward, I've usually given a long time of just not really saying anything. Because I don't care that much. I'm not here to try and win people over. I just try to help people out on my channel a lot.
He's just a man. He's just trying to help people, guys. Look at this man. Look at him with his, like, the Joker behind him.
And I've done that from the start because people did it for me. So people helped me out when I was starting out and all throughout my thing. So I try and do the same for others. And if they no longer want to, like, associate with me, that's fine. Like, that's okay. And I tend to not make a big deal out of it. Might just be quiet about it and just let it go. And I don't hold much animus over it. But when people start coming sideways with some bullshit.
Froggy, I might do, like, a full, like, actual semi-planned stream about it. But yeah, one of his kids tested positive for cocaine. His 9-year-old daughter.
Bad luck, boys. Says Aaron is 0-2 at boxing. Ouch. I don't know anything about boxing records. He always claims to be 1-1, though. Something about, like, they changed the decision later because he was beat up, but he was beat up illegally or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that's what he always claimed. You guys have to check that out. I'm not here to comment about Aaron Imholt or anything that he has to say. He gets to say whatever he wants. I hope he makes $1 million. Chad Boozmock says, Nick, I hope you get to put the toe in his place. That'd be very cute.
I'm muted?
That nerd
I
is
don't
getting
think
remarkably
so.
insufferable. Say hi to Melton and NLO. Look, I don't think I need to do anything to the toe or to put him in any place.
I hate Aaron. Aaron is a massive scumbag. I destroy him. I mean, I despise him.
Some people are like laughing that I have, or like, I don't even want to say laughing. Like, oh, he has Law Pope as a vanity plate? Yes. It was a funny joke when I got it.
Yeah, Nick has his license plate is Law Pope.
Like, I don't know about that. It's like, people's memories are like fucking goldfish, and their ability to remember that life is still supposed to be fun. The Spooky Ghost says, stop neglecting your stream. We're not your kids.
What a fucking felt thing.
I don't neglect either of you. SeedFan85 says, I see the fascist haircut has returned. Is there a story behind it this time? Look, it's summer. In summer, I have my dude bring it down way, way low because I have a heat allergy. Something I've openly talked about forever. I have a heat allergy. I get hives when I get warm. Scratch them. Sometimes they bleed. Anime Sucks. Cope and Sneed says, hey, Nick. So I wasn't kidding when I asked if you could show this on stream and critique it. Files.catbox.mo. No, sorry, I'm not doing anything like that today. BTM Reviews, a huge super chat. Really appreciate it. It says, your friends are some of the worst people I used to think were smarter than me. Guess I was wrong because I never determined your guilt until I hear all sides of the court. Love you and Lady Rackets since Nashville. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Isn't that amazing? Johnny Rocket says potentially criminal tested positive for jelly donuts and cum. What? That was rude. That was not very uncouth of you. Solid number 5 says, Nick, for the love of God, use your Fifth Amendment right. Like you said, everything about the case would be said through counsel. Yeah. I have very, very vehemently used my Fifth Amendment.
No, dude, you said the court fabricated evidence.
Right. Quite often. Over and over.
No, you haven't.
Again, I hope to tell you the story someday when we get all this shit cleared up. How's that? Phil the Stampede says, how funny was it that you and DSP did the same thing? Man, I wish I would have jerked off on stream. That would have been way funnier than what I was doing. YHVH Lord says, forget government. What about obeying God and his righteousness? His righteousness judge.
Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready for the worst take on Christianity of all time?
In order to avoid eternal hellfire, government is nothing. Jesus is everything. There you have it, folks. Don't worry about government. Make sure you're not going to have eternal hellfire. Government's nothing. Jesus is everything. Ignore the fact that Jesus said you don't have to worry about eternal hellfire because I kind of came around. I mean, you guys killed me, but I forgive you or whatever. Like, ignore that. Just go with this new weird Americanized, not Americanized, but modern Americanized Christianity where, Jesus doesn't matter. This one that everyone wants you to believe now.
I mean, this explains a lot. Nick is is an antinomial. So I think he thinks once you're baptized, you're never going to hell no matter what your personal behavior is like. So that's his understanding. And that, Christianity prior to, the 1960s said that... Whatever.
It's really fucking strange, guys. I don't know what the hell people are talking about. Ugly Dan says, you're lying. You defended yourself and your mistresses in DMs. My mistresses? Oh, man. Guys, every day I find out how much cooler I am. It's amazing. IDK anymore says, at least PPP doesn't have kids with coke on them. If PPP has kids, he's probably about to eat them. Koof says, welcome back. Thank you for not killing yourself. Thank you, Koof. It was touch and go there for a minute, but I made it out. I had to get around myself for a few. Andrea Murray says, I found you 2020 to 2022. 11 years clean for me recently. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing exceedingly well.
Dude, that's not how it works. It's... Jesus came to us, and yes, salvation is a free gift. Yes, he loved the world. God loved the world so much, he incarnated and suffered the pain of our sins. But, the idea that, that just means you can be a complete and total fucking degenerate. And... also, the idea that that's some modern American thing that never existed before is just fucked.
Sleepless under the circumstances.
Where in the Bible does it say that, by the way? Where in the Bible does it say that you can just not repent? Or feel sorry, or ask for God's forgiveness, and it just goes away. That's not how it works. If you look at the people Jesus saves, most of them go to him and they're crying. They're crying. They're going, look, I was a degenerate. I cheated a man. I did something like that. I sinned. And then Jesus forgave them. But
because believe me, there are other options for what you want to do under these circumstances, and those options are not doing well. They involve buildings and falling off of them. Koof says, free Riley, release my
suicide baiting.
Clippa. Yeah, Riley's got some fun stuff going on too. It's always good. Hopefully he'll have a nice run-in with the law that turns out for him. Chartard says, is April still giving that Hoover Deluxe treatment? That month is long gone. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Cars in Depth says, are you cool with mods censoring super chats? It really depends on what's in there. I don't know. Right now, I'm trusting my mods to protect private information, and I'm not able to follow along and watch what's being deleted, and I'm not gonna fucking fret over it right now. Um, if something was innocent that you sent and it got deleted, I'm sorry. I guess I wish I could. Wish I had the time and bandwidth to monitor all of that, but I don't. Not tonight.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If Nick was going to address this, which he should have, if he had have come out and said, like, look, I got into this. I was just a small, like, I was a small Midwestern lawyer. I got involved with all this stuff in YouTube. I got all this money. I got into this lifestyle, and I was completely and totally unprepared for it. And because of that, I got into drugs and all kinds of other shit. And I've made some mistakes. A lot of people would be much more willing to forgive him. He might actually have some people who might be saying that. But like the guy who does Earth, so the Earthworm Jim guy, I forget his name. I actually didn't even know who he was, but I actually despise him now because he said that anyone who says Felton is a pedophile. And I have one rule, and I'm sorry if I've ever done this. You never accuse someone of being a pedophile without evidence. You just don't. That is to me, the number one thing you do not do online is accuse someone of being a pedophile. Because that never washes off. It doesn't matter if it's 100% bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's made up. It doesn't matter if it's an idle accusation. If you accuse someone of being a pedophile, you are fucking that person for life. And it is like, yeah, like, and I guess he said you're anime pedophiles or whatever, but it's like, dude, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, you just don't do that. You just don't. Like, I'm sorry if I've ever done that. Well, maybe in some context I have, but like, it's gross. It's the worst thing you can accuse someone of doing. And I've said this, I was talking about this the other day. The worst thing that you can do is to molest and kill children. Is there, like, because I've been trying, I can't think of anything worse than fucking with kids. Like, you can make it more like, you can make it more like extreme and add in like a bunch of just sensational stuff, but dude, fucking kids, like fucking with kids is bad. Like, I can't think of anything worse personally, and most people I think would tend to agree with that. Also, the idea of hurting children or like molesting them is something that I don't think even occurs to the average person. Like, the idea of like doing sexual things with a child never would have occurred to me if I hadn't have heard about pedos doing it. Like, it's just something I think most people wouldn't even think of.
I come buckets. Potentially criminal, has diabetes, ripped legs. Hope not. I don't want him. Man, I hope he doesn't have to deal with that shit. Revy Rogue says, burn the Sonichu medallion. Oh, it will find its proper place. Nicholas DeOrio, message deleted. Hey DeOrio, if you want me to, like, if you want to ask something, just send me a DM, man. Like, I usually answer them. Stinkmeister says, with everything going on, do you know when we can expect the 5K locals gift? Is it still a figure? Thanks. I don't know what a figure. It's not a figure. It was never a figure, but it is something I am working on. Still, even in the midst of all this. Joseph, pod awful is hack and failure at content. Oh, don't kick Jesse while he's down. That's not nice. Oh shit, biggest problem in the universe. What's up, man? How many push-ups do you think Null can do, and is it 0? No, why is it 0? That's the real question. Why, after all this time, can he still not do one? That's the real issue there. Hey, how many push-ups average can you two do, though? It sucks when your fat partner has a negative number, doesn't it, asshole? Mario Carter 13 says, I game with Mountain Dew. I hear your kids like Coke. No, they're not into fizzy drinks really at all. Kyler says, at least you're not Ralph. Look on the bright side. Well, I mean, I'm not anybody, just me. Swedish Asylum Seeker says, lol, Cal Mount Rushmore, DSP, Wings, Jack Murphy, and me. Look, only if I get Lincoln's spot. Riketamine. Look, I'm not allowed to laugh at stuff. I'm not allowed to find things funny because I'm in a very serious situation, so nothing can be funny ever again. But Riketamine's really fucking funny.
Yeah, it
that
is
was funny. The first time I read it, I was like, God damn it, that's funny. Anyway, Riketamine says, heard you talking about Andrew's eye. That's funny because our wife looks like a cross-eyed ghoul. Why does your wife look like a cross-eyed ghoul? That's weird. Mascot 5 says, why did you say that Mexican can't spell corn? All they can spell is repair. What does that mean? Did I say that? That's too funny for me to have said it. God, I hope so. Mo Lester says, I know viewership's been down, but wasn't there a better way to go viral? There's always a better way to go viral. That's why you went viral. Anyways, best wishes to you, the wife, and the girlfriend. Oh, thanks. Dodongo Manoof says, you're a lol cow. I'm not just a lol cow. I'm the best lol cow of 2023.
And
you pay your proper.
Well, also, like, once again, what does anime have to do with anything? Like, firstly, what kind of, like, Essler, like, piece of shit would have an anime profile picture? I don't know, like, what kind of person would do something like that, but it's someone that I wouldn't want to know. But who cares? Like, whether someone has a profile picture or not, that doesn't change the fact that you exposed your kids to cocaine, dude.
For respect, you fucking baby. What are you, some kind of Hindu weirdo? Respect my lol cowity. Guys, when you're accused by the government of a felony and they threaten to put you in prison for a really long time, you realize just how little some of these things actually fucking mean at all. EDW Raptor says, man, you really gave up on standing up during your streams really quick. No, I haven't actually. Notice the Joker's not fully in frame.
Froggy, you might have missed it. He claimed that the CPS worker lied under oath and falsified information.
I think, because I still have to come up with a solution for exactly how I'm going to have the ability to see the chats and all that stuff and control the stream. I think I'm going to have to move the desk much closer to this wall, which will then...
You know, I want to go back and take another look at this, because... Okay, shoot. We'll see if Nick Ricade has taken it down yet. We'll just take another look at the stream that triggered it all. The stream that lost 1,000 lol cows. That led to this happening. I think this is it. Okay, yeah, this is it. So this is what led to the whole thing happening. So I just want you guys to know, does this man look like he's not on drugs? By the way, he disappeared for like 40 minutes.
Mediker, if you stream drunk, he's very happy. So Jim is the longest piss on record. Mediker, I wasn't pissing. Look, it was my time of the month. I had my period. I bled. I recovered. I took Midol in the middle of it. And then, here I am. Here I am, my brother. Tell me more about COVID masks. God damn it, you sick fuck. Why don't you ask Minnesotans for help? Jim's out here. He's like, look, my immune system is like a 12-year-old boy at a Catholic church during COVID. Please don't fucking COPD me to death. I'm like, Jim, God damn it. Let me get your death interview. All I want to do is to make all the money on earth off of your death. God damn it. I don't care if you live or die. You're like an anime dungeon. With all sorts of hentai in it. All of us would do that. All of us would do that. Except we would never admit it. We would just put it on your supple, leprosy-riddled shoulders. Or your arm fell off. Your arm fell off. Like, I know you're mid-jerk, but your arm, like, the leprosy pervaded your shoulder. Your arm fell off. You wouldn't have to try as hard on my shoulders, don't get me wrong.
This is the stream that led to the raid on his
falling
house.
Down, like...
I mean, does this dude seem like he's well?
Forearm and upper arm or whatever. That just did it. And I know, but like the leprosy severed to that. I would crowdfund every amount of hat I can to just get your leprosy riddled arm back on your supple Detroit transgender youth at a camp's body. Also Jewish. Just kidding, Jim. I'm literally just kidding. Honestly, I don't give a shit who fucking makes fun of me. Really don't. I hope you live a million more milliseconds or whatever. Dude, seriously, get healthy. Do what you need to do to get healthy. I don't fucking care about this internet shit. It's so stupid. Get what you need to do to get healthy. You're in Minnesota. You're dealing with the same communism as I am. Now on to me, because Jim is an unimportant little faggot wallowing over there like, oh, I'm dying. I've got terminal illnesses or whatever. Like, yeah, that's good. Would you die already so we can grift off your death?
So this happened like a couple days before he got arrested. So does this look like a dude who's all there? Does this look like the kind of dude who's a responsible father, or does this look like the kind of dude who's a danger to his children?
Oh, I'm going to do my Medicare stream where I make fun of somebody for 24 hours. Like, Jim, will you just die already? Will you just die? Please, dear Christ. Let me tell the world how Black Lagoon is the same as Andy Worski looking to PPP's asshole. Like, will you just do that? And I can cough like 3 times an hour for you? Or I have cancer age.
Does this give my like comedy act a bit more context? This is what I was imitating.
Like I could just do that. With a wife named Jade or what? I don't even know. The Jade thing always makes me laugh because I think of the Charles Bronson movies where he hates Asians. So I'm like, yeah, every woman in those movies are named Jade. Why wouldn't Medicare be married to Jade? I don't know. But legitimately, please live. Please. Please live so we can throw you off a snow-covered balcony next year. You can die or whatever. I don't care. Like, I'll throw you into Tim Walz's butthole. Or Jacob Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis. Do you know what I'd pay? Jim, please. Pretend to be a child. So I can donate to Make-A-Wish. Just to have you learn black people dancing from Jacob Frey and record it. That's all I want to do. My life is literally, I want to watch you learn from Mayor Jacob Frey how to dance like black people. And I want Jacob Frey to learn from you how to not get raped by a gay Cuban. I don't know if I want to pretend to be a child with Vito and chat. Oh my God, no, you can't be a child with Vito and chat. Vito is barred from this chat. He cannot be within 500 internets of this chat. Because if he does, he might find a minor. If Vito finds a minor on the internet, he literally fucks the CD-ROM drive because he doesn't have a name. He fucks the CD-ROM drive until his dick runs Jewish and it circumcises him again.
I had to, like, as I said, this thing was kind of based. But, so, ladies and gentlemen of the internet jury, without any other evidence, does this seem like the kind of dude who would expose his kids to cocaine? I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I might do a proper stream on this tomorrow, but I just don't like coming on.